everyone! Today I'm going to be making Catalan stuffed squids. So I'm going to start preparing my filling and then I'll take you step by step through this recipe. I started to heat a medium-sized pan and I'm going to start off with some olive oil. I have some chopped onions, and ground pork. I'm going to brown the pork, and then once that is complete, we'll go on to adding in the next ingredients for this recipe. My ground pork and onions is now cooked, and what I'm going to do is I have a hard-boiled egg, which I'm going to slice up finely and add it into my filling for our squids. And then I'm going to add some pine nuts. I'm going to let it cook for about 5 minutes. And then once that's done, I'm going to take it off the heat and we're going to start preparing to stuff our squids. My pine nuts with the eggs, the pork and the onions is now ready, and I'm just going to finish it off with a bit of pepper and salt. I'm going to mix this up. I've turned my heat off and I'm just going to rest this aside now so that we can get it at a room temperature. I have cleaned 2 squids, so now I'm going to start filling in my squids with the filling that we just created. My filling is now at a room temperature, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start stuffing my squids. We're going to make sure it's nice and full, and then what we're going to do is we're going to close off our squid with a toothpick once it's done. Once I complete this step in the recipe, I'll show you what the next step will be and what ingredients will go into this recipe. Come, Michael. Now that my squids are nice and full with our filling that we just made, I'm now going to pan fry them to get them brown on all sides. So I'm just going to dust my squids with some flour. I've heated up some oil in a medium-sized pan. And we just want a nice light coating of the flour. So we're going to now add our squid into our hot oil. We're going to cover and we're just going to cook each side until it's a nice brown. Once that's complete, I'll take it off the heat and I'll rest it aside, and we'll go on to the next step in this recipe. My squid has been frying in the pan for about 5-10 minutes now. I'm going to be taking it off the heat, and we're going to go on to the next step in this recipe. So we're just going to rest them aside onto a plate. And then now with the same pan, we're going to start making the sauce for our squids. So we're going to add some onions. And some minced peeled tomatoes. We're going to cook this for about 5 to 10 minutes until we can get a nice soft texture. And then once that's done, we're going to add some salt and pepper, and then we'll go on to the next step once that's completed. Now that my minced tomatoes with the onion has come to a boil, I'm going to now add my squid that's stuffed back in to the sauce. I'm going to be adding in some vegetable broth. You can also use a seafood broth, it's up to you. So I'm just going to add the broth in. I'm going to cover, and then I'm going to let it simmer. You want to make sure you monitor it and that you stir it around every so often so that the flavors will be consistent throughout this recipe. While that's happening, I'm going to be creating the finishing ingredients for this recipe. So we're going to finish this recipe off by creating a topping. So once our sauce with our squids are completely cooked, we're just going to finish it off with a bit of seasoning, and we have some chopped almonds here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a light topping for it. So we have some sliced almonds. I'm going to be cutting up some garlic into fine pieces, and then I have some parsley that as well I'm just going to break up into small pieces. Once I have this completed and our squid with its sauce is finished, I'm just going to drizzle it on top, and then it's going to be ready to serve. If you like this recipe and you want to see more like this, please subscribe to our channel. Hit that share, like, and that bell notification, and I will be putting the ingredients down in the description for this recipe.